Hi, this is Debbie with Wrestling in 60 Seconds, and this is going to be a long one, and I'm sorry, I just got off the media call with Tony Khan, and I have a lot to share with you. So be patient and be kind. First of all, nobody knew what Tony Khan has been going through with his family, specifically his mom. His mom, just before All Out, or just after had a stroke, and she was rushed to the Mayo Clinic Hospital in Jacksonville, and they couldn't find a reason for her stroke, so they sent her home. And while she was home, recovering, she had a second stroke, and she was admitted back into the hospital, and they found out that she had a issue on her heart. And if they didn't remove this, that she would continue to have strokes. So, Tony and his sister and her dad spent as much time, especially his dad and his sister, excuse me, he would fly in at night and spend the night in her hotel room. And so, during the time that she had surgery is when AEW was in Canada. So that kind of tells you it was pretty recent. He said that, she's home, she's doing well, she's still in that recovery phase, but it kind of explains why, like during the CM Punk rant and the MJF, that he just sat there because he probably had so much on his mind trying to take care of everything and fly in and out to see his mom and spend time with her during the time that she was in the hospital. He also brought up the subject of William Regal, and he said that during the time that he was spending the night in his mom's hospital room, he got a call from William Regal stating that his son, is in WWE, in case you didn't know, and he wanted to go back. And him and his son, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm going to sneeze, finish out his career so that he could be with his son. And they discussed it, that it was going to be in a coach type situation. And because he was in that situation with his mom, he said that he felt really bad for Regal, and he decided to that he wouldn't renew his contract when it came up after the holidays, the beginning of the first of the year. It was also an agreement that he would go back to WWE in a coaching capacity and not be seen on TV. Now, he said that there has been some kind of rumors that, they weren't happy with that, but he was like, well, we built storylines and everything for Regal to go in, and now we're having to change all of that to accommodate him so that he could go be with his son. We're thinking that's being very accommodative, and he can't appear on WWE TV for a whole year. Now, let's get to the ROH info. That was really strange, too, because he talked about, questions were asked about several things. More pay-per-views in 2023. He said that he didn't want to saturate the market. Is 5 enough? Could 6 be enough? He didn't know. Trying ROH on a Saturday afternoon, because every wrestling company wants Saturday night. There's only so much Saturday nights that can be available on pay-per-view. And trying out a Saturday afternoon to see, I think it's going to go well, because you still, after the pay-per-view, you can do something that night. So I think it's going to be great, and especially for the media scrum that has to wait for everybody to clean up and then go into the press room and da-da-da-da-da. That's going to be awesome, too. They also talked about, he hinted at a couple of things, how if there was an ROH weekly show coming up, if they were any closer to that, he said that more details would be happening after this weekend. They asked about, if ROH was going to be going international. He said, well, they've been international in the past. They've done New Japan. They've done international shows. And he'd like to see that happen again. And he would like to bring in other ROH people that have been in the company and do matches with. One specific person, somebody specifically asked if Shane Taylor has got a contract, and he said he could not speak on specifics with Shane Taylor's if he did or didn't have a contract with AEW, so they must be in talks. Anyway, the other thing is that he kept saying two hints about the pay-per-view, which I don't get. Anyway, here they are. He says, you have to wait until after this weekend because you don't know what could happen with FTR. Well, there's only so many things that could happen with FTR. And the same thing he said about Chris Jericho, how this was like the best year because of him being ROH champion. And, people are thinking it's going to be Jericho or it's going to be Castagnoli. And then he pop this thing that says, well, it could be a third option. How can it be a third option? Who's the third? Did this go over top of my head? I don't know. I didn't get a third, I don't get that. Someone asked him if ROH and AEW had different creative teams. He said they do have different creative teams. There are some people who work on both teams, and he is one of those people who heads both teams. Let me see. Is there anything else? He mentioned Maria Kanellis, and that she works closely with, I think it's the Women of Wrestling, or the Army of Women Wrestling. Anyway, he said that he has been in talks with her, and then I thought, well, he trademarked AEW, All Elite Women. Is he thinking about doing something with that? And making that the Army of Women's Wrestling? I don't know. He didn't really specify. He just kept saying that they were always talking about women's wrestling and the Army of Women's Wrestling. So that has possibilities, I guess, in the future. He just mainly said, you have to watch this weekend and you'll know more about ROH and its future after the weekend. So I'm expecting big things during this pay-per-view. Anyway, I hope this hasn't been too long for you guys. I had like 3 pages of information that I'm trying to condense, and it was over an hour-long media call. So I got it done in 8 minutes and 27 seconds. Thanks for watching, subscribing, and as always, bye for now.